You are listening to the podcast To Be Single or Not to Be by Shanna Montana, a podcast where we talk about the single life, dating, and relationships so you can make a decision at the end of each episode to be single or not to be. So today's topic is partner fulfillment and recognizing that while your partner can fill your cup, it is still up to you to do the work too, because your partner really cannot be your everything. Your partner, it can't fill voids or trauma you have from your childhood, and we just cannot expect more of our partners than we expect from ourselves. So it's really important for us to have conversations around these subjects so people in relationships can kind of do self-checks to see if they're guilty of placing more responsibility on their partner than they are of themselves. And for people that are single, to really, have a perspective of, going into a relationship, what should I expect of me and what should I expect of him or her? So I think that ultimately these are topics that have to be ongoing. And I think that in order for relationships to improve and for the status, I would say, of relationships these days, because I would say in my life, I have more friends that are single than are married. I think that we have to make sure that we're going into these relationships as a whole person and not starting off on the wrong foot and not going in saying that, Job, Bill, Jane, that just so happen to be your name, are supposed to do X, Y, Z for me, and I'm showing up only giving them, 40%. So I wanted to bring in some ladies who I felt could add some value to the conversation. We have an ongoing guest who's been on a few times. Say hello to the listeners.
Hi.
And we have Miss Tori. I was like, that's your name. That's your name.
I was like, did I say my name?
No, T-Baby. You didn't say your name.
T-Baby in the building.
You didn't look. Got T-Baby in the building. And then one of our newest guests that we are glad to have on would be...
Yes, Dr. Grant.
Yes, ma'am. Dr. Grant. We got somebody official in the building.
Y'all
Y'all better know it. Y'all better know it. Yes. Goals. Hashtag.
Go.
Right, so we're going to dive right in, ladies. So I think that when it comes to relationships, and a lot of this stuff I'm talking about, I'm guilty of some of it, some I'm not. I think that we have this expectation that our partner will fulfill every want, need, and desire. And I want to know, are we really wrong to feel that way? And I know we're going to dive into, what we should or shouldn't be doing, but initially, are we wrong to feel that way? What do y'all think?
No. Well, I think it's a different. I think we being standards and expectations a little confused sometimes.
Okay.
Just as not even as a culture, as humans.
Okay.
Because we think we expect somebody to do something, but if you never told them what you want from them,
okay,
then how can you expect that from somebody? So I just think it's okay to have that standard. I want my man to do this, or I want my man to have this salary. I want.
Is it kind of like a wish list?
Kind of like a wish list.
Okay.
But you have to communicate that wish list in order for them to even get a chance to even
try to fulfill it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think, I just think we just have to communicate that in order for those standards to be met before they turn into expectations.
Because if I haven't communicated it, how can I expect it?
Right.
But we still do it.
Yeah, we do it every day. I do it with friends.
Yeah.
I do it with people, regular associates.
I definitely agree. I think that the lines get blurred when it comes to standards and expectations because your expectation is on you. It's not on the other person.
Right.
So you put the responsibility on the other person to know exactly what you're expecting from them and these different, to be able to anticipate your needs beforehand. Mm-hmm. And sometimes, some people, you get a partner that really can do that and they can anticipate your needs because they know you pretty well. Right. And they can do that. But also, I don't think it's a bad thing because of the conditioning that we have from society as a whole. Society makes it seem like, and they push this narrative like, you have this soulmate and this person that's going to come through. They're going to be your other half.
Magical.
Right. Yeah. They're going to be your other half. And they're going to be this. And it's going to be that. And it's going to be easy. And it's going to be, fairy tales. Ever since we were a little girl, that's what we've always been taught. You know what I'm saying? That's what we've always seen. You've seen Cinderella. You've seen everybody get the happily ever after with the man. And he was perfect. And he was all these different things. So it's not, necessarily our fault that we think those things, but at the same time, a process of, uncovering a lot of, conditioning, I guess. It comes with realizing, okay, no, that's actually not realistic. Yeah. And, it takes a while to learn a person and to figure out how to be able to give to them. You know what I'm saying? So it's not necessarily, we're not necessarily wrong because that's what society has pushed on us. Right. And that's like the norm. But at the same time, it's just a process of learning and relearning.
You have to create your new normal.
Right.
Because
exactly.
you're right. What society has placed on us, I think, because my motto, I talked about it on the last episode, is like when it comes to dating, I'm kind of like a subscription, like a trial run. You know, you can scroll to you can scroll to the bottom and unsubscribe or cancel me at any time. Yes, but I would say, you know, in the beginning, you know, you have to understand it's a marathon, not a race. And that because I am newer to the dating field, it's going to take me longer to even allow you in, for you to learn what I need, for me to learn what you need. Right. So I think that what you said, we've been so conditioned by society, by our families, by our friends, by what we think our we want. Norms, yes, all the above. Yeah. So when it comes to, you know, I like that you all pointed out there's a difference between the standards and the expectations. And I think that, you know, say we get this, we have the standards in our minds and we communicate that to a partner. Why is it not a good idea to place so many expectations on a partner? You know, like, why do we do that anyway? We come in and we say, you know, I'm just going to say, we want them to look a certain way. We want them to act a certain way. We want to go on dates. We want to get flowers. We want to do this, that, and the third. And those are just very surface level things, you know. Yeah. But why do we come in and we place all these unrealistic expectations on our partner? And when they don't do it, we're upset.
We mad.
Yeah, so.
Right. Well, I think you have every right to be mad after you've said these are the things I need. I know
that's an unpopular opinion.
It probably is. You have all the right to be upset or feel a certain way if you communicate like, these are things I like, these are things I need, these are things I want, and that person does not meet that.
And if they say that they can. If they come and say, if you come to them with, because we talk about timelines, we talk about setting expectations, we talk about boundaries, we talk about creating all these lists, basically all the pre-work before you say we're going to get into a committed situation. Right. And I think that what you said is fair to some extent. I think that if we, you know, present it and they don't, because a lot of times they lie. People, and I'm not saying men, I'm saying people do lie. Sometimes, let me tell you, Lil Duval put it on his Instagram today, if y'all saw it, and he said something along the lines of, why do women get upset out here when they tell a man that I'm not gonna have sex with you until we get in a relationship? Then a man lies so he can get the pee, and then you mad. He's like, you made me lie, you know. So
at that point, you just kind of have to sit in your decision. Like,
but it's Lil Duval we're talking about.
You said what you said.
You said what you said, and they like, because he was like, we rather just deal with the consequences after of knowing that we was lying. Yeah. To get what we gonna get, but I think that, you know, excuse me. When it comes to the expectations, I think we all just have to be a little bit more realistic and understanding. And we're going to dive a little bit more into that because when it comes to the fulfillment of a partner, it's only so much that you can do and it's only so much that they can do. Right. So before we dive into that, I do want to ask this because ultimately these expectations, I think for most people, well, some, I'm going to say most, people have a desire to be in a relationship and then to get married. That's not everybody's dream, but say that, you know, society makes you think that's what you're supposed to do. Right. You're supposed to go for it and get married. So why do you all think that people view marriage as like the pinnacle of success? That it's like you have reached the height of anything that you will do in your life once you get married?
Well, I feel like if you think about it, like historically, like women that weren't married at a certain age were called a certain thing. They had a whole nother name for it.
It's like a scarlet letter.
A spinster. Yeah. Like you're a spinster, you're a cat lady because you decided not to get married. You decided that wasn't for you. So then people are like, okay, I found a man that's going to love me. Yeah. I found someone, okay, maybe we don't have to, you know, just make it really hetero. We can make it, you know, I found a partner, somebody that's going to love me. I found this person that feels like I'm worthy enough to be married. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then you think about the history of marriage as a whole is where marriage was a point for women to be able to get to have land, to have something. To have rights. Because if not, we didn't have shit. Because we didn't have if you didn't have a man, you didn't have money, you didn't have land, you didn't have anything. So it's like, okay, I get that. Now I can have the land that I want. I can take care of my household. I can do this and that. Exactly. So then it morphed into some, you know, Hollywood and mainstream media changed it into this romantic thing. Yeah. You know, changed it into this whole thing, which I think marriage can be about a union. Yeah. But, you know, historically, it's really not. You know, so it's like, you know, then it morphed it into this whole thing. And it's like, exactly. It's a business deal. It's what it is.
Yeah. You're giving up goats.
Exactly. Right. You're merging your assets and stuff. You got to make a deal with her daddy and stuff and all this whole things. Okay, I can use your tractor to, you know, get my crops. You know what I'm saying? That's real.
That's true. That's
but it's like, you know, for somewhere it just got morphed into something, you know, different. Yeah. And then to the point where it got to the point where it's like, okay, I'm really a woman. because I'm a woman. This makes me a woman because I found a man that's going to marry me.
Right.
We're going to have children.
Right.
I have reached that point because as a woman, that's what we've been told.
Yeah.
You know, from a male perspective, that's different. But for a woman's perspective, as a kid, you're taught like, oh, you know, one day you find a man and get married. Once again, we see fairy tales. It's a whole thing. It's like, okay, maybe not necessarily graduating from college is for you, but honey, you find a man. You get you a wedding, honey. Yeah. You have made it. Okay, you found you that person. Somebody that's gonna buy you a house. Somebody that's gonna do whatever. You know, whatever. Crazy. It is crazy, and so it's really like it's all based off of those like norms that we've always had, and I think that's why. Because I've always questioned that too. Like, why is that a successful thing? Yeah. Why are we celebrating that? Well, you know, it's one thing to say congratulations, like you found somebody that you feel like you want to live, you know, for the rest of your life with that person. I don't really know how that feels. So congratulations for you because I get sick of niggas after 3 months. So congratulations. You know what I'm saying? Congratulations. That's beautiful. Yeah. You know, whatever. But to me, like, oh my God, you did it, girl. Yeah. You did it. What did you do?
And that's what society says, you know, that is it. And most, you know, like, so what do you think about that? Like, did you feel that way? Like, once you got married? Well, like, when you got married, it was like, this is it. Like, Captain Planet.
I did it.
But I'm fine.
Like that necessarily. But I did get that tone of congratulations from other people. Yeah. So it was more like, oh, you get married, girl. You so young. Go ahead, get married. But it was not. I didn't get the same type of tone when I said, oh, I was getting my master's.
Yeah. It's like, oh, congrats.
Exactly.
Dry.
Oh, right.
Okay, good for you.
And I was just telling my dad the other day, this is so funny. Somebody recently, we were just talking, and they asked me how old I was, and I don't ever get offended by the question, because, I mean, your age just happens. So
right.
But anyway, I was like, I'm 28. They're like, you don't have kids? I'm like, no, you know.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother.
The Lord, he ain't made that my ministry.
Yeah.
It ain't me. It's not us. And so then I guess she knows my ring. She was like, but you're married. And I'm like,
okay.
Okay. She's like, but you're so young. And I'm like, just a minute ago, you was shocked that I didn't have kids at 28, but now I'm too young.
Yeah.
Like, to be married.
You casted all of your fears and insecurities on me in 2 seconds.
So it was like, you would have been happy for me if I had kids, but then if I'm married, it's like all of a sudden it's like successful, like this is pinnacle, and now everything else has to follow that. Like, I don't know, it was just weird.
But people do that.
People do that. So I don't know where. I totally agree with you. It's like a societal, I don't know, norm that became like this fairy tale, like
a projection.
It's propaganda.
That makes you feel like
it is,
and it could have been like generational, maybe in our culture, or even because white people, it's a business deal, really.
Yeah,
like
it is.
I hate to say that.
You know, they go to college to find a husband.
Right,
they do.
They go to Duke and
hooking up kids at 10 years old.
I mean, I went to grad school with people, you know, that were like, oh, I'm finding my husband here.
Right.
This is what it is, and I'm like, nigga, I'm just trying to graduate.
Right,
I'm just trying to get this doctorate. I'm just trying to say, honey, I'm just trying to make sure I get past the first semester.
You think I got time for it?
I can't worry about these men. Okay,
the study group started. How about that?
Hello.
But yeah, that's how they treat it. So I think I think it does come from like historically, men were able to get certain things that women were not necessarily didn't have the access to,
and women had to get married in order to get
until we got married to get all these things, whether that be land or money,
whatever,
what have you. So now it's just become this thing like, oh girl, you married, everything else should just flow smoothly from here.
Life is going to be great, perfect. So, but what do you think we have to do in order to create a better vision for relationships, not based on what society says? Because that's a huge part of it, social media.
I say create the own relationship, like the relationship style that you want and that works for you and your partner.
Right.
Because so now let's just talk about. So now, now we're in the day and age where like open relationships and things like that are more common, and people are talking about them more often. Right. So me myself, I consider myself to be very poly. I consider myself to be very polyamorous, where I believe in having multiple connections with multiple people. Right. That's where I am in my life at this point. Right. I don't think it's a permanent thing. Right. It may be, it may not. I can't say, but at this point in the stage of my life, I like to connect with multiple people at one time. And so what I've learned is that there is no that's another thing where people like, we see relationship goals and we see things like that on Twitter and on social media or whatever, and we like, okay, I want my relationship to look just like that. So you know, I want it to be like just like this and that, but it's like you hinder yourself and you limit your connection and what you can build with that person because you're so worried about like, okay, I want myself to like super sense. I want to be a super sense.
No more super no more. No more.
Delete that shit. Delete all that shit.
But I wanted to be like Sierra and Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
Or I wanted to be like Beyonce and Jay-Z.
Yeah.
And then Beyonce drops Lemonade and bitches like, ooh, oh my God. He cheating on Beyonce too.
Beyonce been saying ring no alarm since 2010. Y'all wasn't listening.
We didn't even listen to you.
I knew it. I said, B, are you happy? And a Virgo with Sagittarius don't work.
She looked upset.
Looked upset.
Resentment was on that same album.
Resentment was on the same album.
It was the same album,
in his house messing up y'all.
He messing up. He did
clearly.
But that's what I'm saying. Where people try to put themselves in labels and in boxes, and put their relationship in that other person and label in a box. And you have to like really communicate with that person. Be like, okay, what's gonna work for us? Okay, maybe we're not on some open shit. Maybe we just like to dabble in some little fun shit every now and then, and that's what works for us. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Exactly. On Halloween,
once a month,
on New Year's. You know what I'm saying? It's a new year. Let's go in the club and spot somebody out. Or something. Whatever works for you. But I think that's where you really have to change the narrative, and that's what I've been learning in my own styles of relationships and how I'm moving with the people I'm dating now and stuff like that. Is I'm just creating what works for us. Right. And so even like my partner now, I'm like, okay, look, like I have a primary partner now, and I've been like telling him like, okay, if it is a situation where I bring somebody else in and you're not feeling it, then we gonna move from there. Right. You know what I'm saying? We'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But like right now, I like what we got going on. I don't got no issue.
Right, we good right now, but just know
exactly. I'm communicating. Everything's
wake
fine.
Up tomorrow.
Exactly. It just I think that's where it changes, and the communication too, making sure you're communicating your needs, what you're looking for. Don't be sitting here like, I'm fine,
or like passive aggressive stuff.
Yeah,
exactly. I'm fine.
Right. Good.
You see a meme and now you posting it.
Yeah,
right.
Sis, just tell him.
You ain't even read your story today.
He in the bed right next to you. Tell him.
He's not even gonna see it in that 24-hour loop, sis. He's gonna miss it.
Exactly.
Yes.
I already know.
So what do y'all think about this? This is a random question just based on what you said, because I was, if y'all don't follow, look at me pubbing somebody else's stuff. It's a Instagram called 8 at the Table. And they talk about like really sexual, like risque topics. It's 8 different people. And so they brought up the topic, and this came to mind, was that they said, would you date a bisexual man? Well, one, they said they think that everybody's innately bisexual. And I was like, I don't know if, okay. I don't know.
Okay.
I've asked a couple men, they like, hell nah.
Right, yeah, no.
So,
especially black men, they ain't gonna be like,
hell
no. Even if they did.
Right, they're like, hell nah.
Right.
But they said that they were like, would you date an openly bisexual man? And so I put it on an Instagram story, and like 12% of people were like, yeah. And it was not all, like, it was men and women.
I was one of the people that said no.
Yeah.
I was one of the people that said yes.
Okay.
I voted on that.
Did I like actually answer it? Did in my mind I was just
you did say no.
Click, man.
Well, I definitely was a part of this.
What do y'all think about that? That was so interesting to me.
It does not bother me. I guess it doesn't bother me. But this is the thing. This is the only thing I want to say one thing about everybody maybe a little bit bisexual. Bisexuality is not just that you're attracted to other people. You want to be romantically involved with those people.
Okay.
You can have sex with anybody.
Okay.
But to be romantically involved, like I will fall in love with you, and I don't have a problem that you're the same sex as me or that you're opposite sex. That is bisexuality. To be like bi-curious is maybe like, I might want to dabble or whatever. Yeah. But the real definition of bisexuality is that you want a romantic and a sexual, involvement or intimate involvement.
Thank you for clearing that
with
up.
The person.
Right. Because that's a part of. Listen, that was what Tank. Even though Tank got the bad end of that clip on social media, that's what he explained. So he was on Angela Yee's. We watched the YouTube that day, and the clip going around the internet was Tank was like, you could have 2 dicks and not be gay. But of course, they did not take the whole context of the question. Right? Basically, look, it was, I
didn't hear about it.
That clip is out there.
They were talking about, what they lying or something.
Lying about sex or cheating or something.
And he asked, so if a guy lied about his sexuality or something, or if he was like, well...
I think it's about being a cheater. Like if you say like, if I cheat twice, am I really a cheater? And she was like, if you take 2 dicks, are you really gay or something like that?
Like, if you suck a dick, are you gay? Or
if you suck a dick twice, he's like, no, you might just been curious.
You might have been curious, yeah.
And he said the same things along the lines. He was like, if you to be gay or bisexual, he was like, you have to really be romantically wanting to pursue something.
But that makes sense.
That's
like
It makes sense.
And it's one thing
exactly.
to be like, okay, one time, and then okay, I don't like it.
I don't really feel
that. Go back to whatever.
Right.
That
because I mean that's what we do
sense.
as humans. We try. It's trial and error. We try things. We see. Okay, that's not really for me. We do something different. It's whatever. People do that with careers. People do that with whatever it is. But that's the difference. Is like, and I learned that I took a human sexuality psychology course, and so that was one of the things that they talked about, and it made clear sense to me. And I'm like, that's the key right there.
Yeah.
And that's why even with myself, I'm like, I don't consider myself bisexual. I may dabble in some shit here and there with a partner because I think it's fun, but I don't want to be with a woman.
Y'all get a woman.
We get on my nerves, so I have no desire to want to be romantically involved or in love with a woman. I don't want to do that. You know, it's just whatever. But yeah, I definitely
canceled.
Yeah, I mean, me personally, when it comes to like dating a bisexual man, I don't think it's that. I don't think that. I guess I see I believe that sexuality is a spectrum, and I feel like you do kind of, because if you think about it like this, what you like right now and what is sexually attractive to you right now is not what you've always thought was sexually attractive. When you were 16, when you was 18, even when you was 21, those things were not the same. And those and the simple things is like, okay, I need to do with some nice teeth. Like we was talking, I need to do with some nice teeth. That's something that's sexually attractive to me. And maybe before I didn't really, I didn't really care. It's whatever, but that is a part of your sexuality.
It is.
You know what I'm saying? So it does change and does morph. I think, some people, they still, think in a small frame, mindset, and they think like, maybe it's whatever.
That's why I said no. But I'll confess, like, because a lot of people are like, oh yeah, I can date. It's my insecurity because I cannot sleep in bed with a man and like that I'm like completely involved with. And in the back of my mind, I know in the back of my mind, I'm just gonna be like, so I wonder, did he see anybody today that he's attracted to? That can give him something totally different that I just cannot.
Yeah,
right.
I literally that's understandable.
Right.
So I'm like, I would never get, because me and my friends, we have conversations like this all the time. Yeah. I'm like,
so you like, basically, I can't give you a dick.
Yeah, like I love, you look good and everything. We have nice dates, but I just can't.
Yeah,
I can't do that. So for my mental health, we just can't be together.
Yeah.
Because I would be thinking about that all the time. Like,
but because they talk about too, also, and this was another one of their episodes. As a man, they were saying, "Oh, woman, like." As a man, would you feel better if your girl cheated on you with the girl? And all the guys was like, man.
That would hurt my ego.
No, they was all like, we'll be cool with that.
They love that.
I'll be mad I ain't get invited. They were saying stuff like that.
That's how they do. They love that. Men love that. They have an issue. They have an issue with like homosexuality when it comes to men, but they love when a girl, like when I tell guys, okay, but I tell guys, because I don't say like I'm bisexual because I'm not bisexual. I'm like, sometimes I'm like, it's whatever, but if I'm open or whatever, they be like, oh, we're gonna have a threesome, and I'm like, bitch, no, that's not what I have it with you.
That's not what I said.
That's not what I said. That's not exactly what I said.
Don't like that.
First of all, I don't want to have that type of situation with just anybody, and you're not
be
the
with
person.
Your ass.
Right? What do you mean?
You definitely not on the list, brother.
Exactly.
Like
they do.
Not a candidate.
Men are different when it comes to that.
They are. It's
really
like they feel safer. Like they feel safer if it was another woman. Like their ego wouldn't be hit as hard.
Right.
Well, with a bisexual person, the chances of a woman leaving you for another woman is like real. So I don't think they think about. They're just thinking
think about that.
Sex. And I'm like, this woman can real life lead you.
Right.
Like, she's more than just a situation.
Oh, I love her. She's amazing. She do stuff. She's considerate.
Yeah.
You're not considerate,
right?
You leave the toilet seat up. She puts it down.
I don't have to worry about that.
It's that simple. I love it.
Like, I'm just gonna be with her.
I'm out.
You gotta move out by tomorrow.
Yeah.
Bye.
Then the ego is hurt for real because they think about it in the context of, oh, she just had sex with her and that's it.
That's all they think, and I'm like, no.
It's much
Sometimes it can be a little deeper than that.
If it really is a romantic connection.
If they really want to jump out the window, so it makes sense. Now, thinking about that, and that goes right into this, like finding balance with a partner. I think that's important. So, how do we find the balance of what we should expect from our partner versus what we should expect from ourselves? So basically, we know they cannot fulfill everything. So how do we figure out what falls under the responsibility of me and what falls under the responsibility of my partner?
I know, that's a good one. And I guess you have to, one thing that I say, because I talk to some people, I do a lot of healing work with people, and so I talk about, what is it that if the person that you wanted, like the ideal person that you wanted walked in the door right now, could you say that you're fully ready to be with that person, you're fully ready, because a relationship is people fulfilling each other's needs.
Period.
So if you can't, do that, and you can't be willing to say, okay, yeah, I got some shit I need to work on, that's personal, you know what I'm saying?
Are you fully ready? And we talk about that. Are you really ready for marriage?
Exactly. Because I have some people there, like, I had this one, I've worked with a couple people, like, just like self-love work, and they're like, I don't date people. I don't know. I just have issues with all these dudes. And I'm like, okay, but I just feel like I deserve to have this, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, but if he walked in the door right now, would you be ready? Because I can say myself, I'm not fully ready. I got some stuff I still need to work on. But it comes with a certain form of awareness within yourself. Like self-awareness and reflection, where you be like, okay, there's some shit. I'm going to keep fucking these things up. Like,
if somebody said on the last episode, she said, I'm going to give you a reason to leave.
Right.
So, are you willing to stay here through this and work through these things with me?
Right. And to be able to acknowledge that I'm going to give you a reason to leave is already a step, because a lot of people know they're like, no, he just did this, he did that, I'm sick of this, I'm sick of that, blah, blah, they did this, whatever, blah, blah. But it's instead of being like, you know what, honestly, when he said that, it made me think about old boy from a few years ago who used to be, and it triggered me, and I allowed it to take me there instead of sitting down and really talking to him, be like, you know what, I had a bad experience with that. Can we try to talk about this in a different way? Can you talk to me a different way? Can we, create our own form of communication? You know what I'm saying? I think that's where people get mixed up.
I think it's about understanding who your partner is and being okay with that. Because, like, I try to tell my friend now, we always have discussions about, like, relationships, and she's single, dating, but she's just kind of frustrated because her expectations are to a certain point. And I'm just like, are you providing what you're expecting out of him?
Exactly.
Number one.
I know I'm not. I know I got a list of shit that I ain't fulfilling.
Are you mirroring it? Are you a mirror for that? Because what you're mirroring is what you're getting.
Right.
What you're seeing is what you're getting.
That person should be within your circle to where that's what you're bringing in. It's like a karma thing. And I'm just like,
absolutely.
If you are not giving that out, if you're not willing to give that out, then you shouldn't be cutting people off. Because at that point,
so what's the response to this?
She just kind of like, at this point, her expectations, and I feel like once you get tired of, you would do your own self-awareness, like
self-check,
right, self-check, and be able to communicate to the other person and staying true in that. Like, if those are your expectations and you understand that person can't meet it, don't get frustrated. Why are you frustrated with your own standards? Just say expectations. Just be like, okay,
this is not a good fit.
We're not for each other.
Exactly.
And move on.
Exactly.
And move on.
Exactly.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. You can go ahead.
No, I was going to ask her with some of your clients, like, what do you encounter when you make them face themselves?
Yeah.
Oh, they realize reaction? Because after a while they realize. First of all, if you come to me, let me put this up. If you come to me for any healing work, you have to be ready, because I'm going to make you be accountable.
Real healing.
We're not being victims of shit. It's not what it is. I'm going to tell you
why I ain't
to
booked
sit
you
here.
yet.
I'm like,
maybe I need you.
I know I need it. I ain't ready.
Come on. That's fun. It's fun. It's really fun. It's
I'm
really
afraid
beautiful
of that
work.
shit.
I love it. No, it's not that bad. It's so beautiful. I swear, because you'll be like, damn. Like, I had one girl, I had her do an exercise, and I had her stand in the mirror. And I said, I want you to do this and maybe take a bath, relax, listen to some music, feel good about yourself. I want you to stand in the mirror, and I want you to look, I want you to say something positive about your body. I want you to say something positive about yourself. Because a lot of her issues is that her self-esteem was low. Yeah. A lot of things, So I'm like, I want you to look in the mirror, and I want you to, really say different things about each body part. She came back to me and she was like, I didn't have anything to really say. And she was like, and then I realized, like, damn, maybe I really do need more work. And I think that people say, like, okay, yeah, you need to love yourself before you love another person, and blah blah blah. And I do believe that, and I think that also you can have a partner that comes in and shows you and helps you, because they've done the work and they're ready. But you have to be in a certain level of, like, I'm ready to be accountable for the areas that I'm not. It can't just be like, I need him to just completely, because when that person leaves, is that love gonna be gone?
So are your expectations really expectations? Or are you looking for somebody to fulfill your insecurities?
Exactly.
Because that's never gonna work.
It's never gonna work. Because when that person leaves, what's happening?
Right. Like, I have a friend, associate, whatever. But
same thing.
We hang in the same friend circle.
No, it's not
somebody I know.
Right. Somebody I know.
One of her expectations right now are of somebody, like, she expects her fiance at this point to bring her flowers every week. Like, that's an expectation. If he does not bring her, and I'm like, flowers, sis?
That's it?
Like, that's all he got. Flowers? $5 for Kroger?
That's it.
Right, $5.
I'm like, so what does that fulfill in you?
Yeah,
like, what's in you that you feel like flowers showing you, like, you worthy?
Which parent didn't give us some flowers growing up?
You didn't give Valentine's Day gift in middle school?
Yeah.
Right, what is it?
Something happened.
You didn't get no balloons?
Yeah, didn't get the carnation.
Is it that, like, I'm like, that expectation to me is just so shallow. You're just expecting him to meet this insecurity for you.
Yeah.
But you should really just get rid of that. You know, we not on that level, so I ain't gonna ask for it. Like, I really don't even care. But, you know, in my mind, when she said it in the midst of our little girls' night we was having, I'm just like, that just verified why we don't.
Right, okay.
We just mutual friends.
Right.
Yeah. Because I'm just like, what is that? Like, what is that to even say out loud to other people? Like, what is that?
Right.
But make sure you tap into her love language.
Yeah, like,
that's another thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, to me, that's one of those expectations that people are just masking.
Yeah,
it is so surface level.
Yeah, because the expectation is a belief that you have that somebody should really do this. You know what I'm saying? A standard is something that you're like, this is what it takes to be with me. Yeah. But an expectation is like, I believe you should do this because this is what I think that somebody in your role in your position should do.
And it
that's the difference.
I love it.
Exactly. Why you have that expectation?
Exactly. Okay. Why do I have the standard that your teeth need to be clean? Because
that's hygiene.
Because it's hygiene. And you're not gonna be putting your mouth on my body parts with bacteria. That's how you get bacteria vaginosis. I'm not playing. I'm sick of it. I'm fed up.
I'm sick of it.
I'm sick of it.
Level.
It's basic. That's standard. That's a standard. In order to be with me, that's what you have to have. If not, I'm gonna audibly gag when you try to come near me. I swear to God. But an expectation to be like, I need you to pull up every Tuesday. You know what I'm saying? And bring me whatever. Yeah, some flowers. Whatever.
Yeah. Okay, I love the breakdown. Like the standards that your teeth have to be clean. Right. The expectations were like every Tuesday you bring me lunch. Right. You know, something like that.
Yeah,
you know,
it's kind of like, okay, it's a nice gift to get flowers, to get lunch. But for that to be an expectation to the point where, like, if they don't, or your partner does not do that, you're cutting them off. Like,
right. You fed up, you angry, you whatever.
That's not okay.
I'm like, who did you tell this to? And they were like, okay. Because if you tell me something crazy like that, I'm going to be like, you know what?
I'm going to be like, okay. And it's still not going to happen.
Okay. Oh, that's what you like.
Okay.
And I've dated people before, and I've been like, I do like to get flowers. Like, I ain't going to lie. It'd be nice if when I land from the plane, you have flowers in your hand. I mean,
what a sign.
You see me in a week. I mean, I'm not asking for much.
I'm done.
With a limo outside.
I did do that. It was funny. He did it. He really did it. He pulled up with a flower every time I came back in town. He had some flowers.
That was a blessing.
Or even just something just random. You know, I just like nice gestures that you're thinking about.
Yes,
Thoughtful gestures. Show me something. You know, it doesn't have to be flowers. It could be, hey, I kind of cleaned this up a little bit because you had this. Oh, this was, creaking. Yeah. I know how to tighten the screw for you. Yeah. Like, it's simple. That's
some shit you have observed. That you can take care of it. You know I needed help with that.
Help me out.
That makes sense. So I think when it comes to also with partner fulfillment, something else we have to do in talking about how do we recognize, what we can fulfill and what our partner can fulfill. I don't know if it comes down to making a list, but I think you have to have like a general idea of certain things. So we'll start out with the physical. I think that, I'm going to skip this. I'm going to emotional. I'm going to skip because physical. I want to skip.
Easier,
physical's easy. Yeah. Physical is like sex. But no. Let me go back to physical.
Okay.
So we think about, sex that's what everybody thinks about. Mm-hmm. But also I think, and we're going to dive into this a little bit later, you have to think about the partner that you have. So if you are a person that likes affection, you like kisses, you like holding hands, you've kind of talked about that difference between your husband.
That's my husband.
Yeah, that you
all are. Really affectionate person.
He's very, I'm not.
That's not your love language. That's not mine either. It's very low on my 5 love languages. Yeah. It's very low. Yeah, I've gotten better.
I think it's like number 1 or 2 in mine. I'm about to move gifts up to the top of my list. I'm just gonna move it up there. I'm gonna move it up there because I just feel like
words of affirmation are literally tit for tat for me.
Really?
And I never wanted to be that person like, I love gifts, but I do like that.
Mine is acts of service, word of affirmation. I think quality time, then gifts, or maybe physical touch or gifts. They're like the last 2.
At the bottom.
And not even like, and I do like gifts, but it's just not, I don't put that much importance on it. I'd rather you help me do something. Help me do something.
I need the TIME. I need the time, your time, your attention, all that. Right. Then I think mine is words of affirmation. Okay. And I'll remember after that. Yeah. But I think that what I talk about with the physical is that, if you think about, I think you've compromised with your husband, but some people will get with a person that they say they're very affectionate. Their partner is not. They like hugs. They like kisses. They like PDA. And their partner is like, I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
And it's like we talk about in order for you to be fulfilled by your partner, you have to be, it's like a good job fit. You need a good partner fit.
Right.
So I think that people have to pay attention to stuff like that. If you are with somebody that you've been dating or dealing with them or whatever for like a year or two, and since he still does not like doing those things, he's
never gonna do it.
He's probably never gonna do it. So it's almost like sometimes we will go into a situation unfulfilled and think that we say I do, and it's gonna change it,
or
and it's not.
It's a further commitment past that. It's not gonna change.
It's not gonna change it. So I would say I brought that up for people to think about the physical side. You know, are you in that situation where you and your partner may think a little bit differently with those things?
Yeah.
The other one I was gonna jump to, I got you, was emotional, and I think this is so huge because. We women are allegedly emotional creatures.
I like that.
Yeah, allegedly.
It is alleged.
Allegedly.
They more emotional.
Tell me, when you get down to the nitty gritty, men are way more emotional.
They are way more emotional.
Because I've been the savage. I've been the savage in the situation. I'm like,
like,
what is wrong with you? What is wrong? I thought you said you didn't want that. Yeah, I thought you just said you just want to be my fuck buddy. Yeah. Why you in your feelings? What's happening?
Get off my Instagram.
Right.
I think that a lot of men by nature are insecure. Yeah. And I think that the other part of it, like we talk about, they say that women are emotional, but I think that women kind of go through things, and once we get to a point, okay, we're done, I'm over it, I can move past it. Now, men are the ones that want to sit in it forever. Yeah. You know, they are the ones that are not going to let things go. Like if you cheat on a man, like you can cheat on a woman.
It's over with.
We going to take you back. A man is not taking you back. Like, he is going to forever just picture you.
That's usually what you see.
You know,
but men are always taught that they have options. Versus women, every fairy tale, every movie is the woman gets the man, or oh my gosh, this beautiful man is finally interested.
Every Disney movie, so think about Little Mermaid, whatever.
So when we feel like we got that man that's interested in us, we feel like we have to hold on to that no matter what.
Or even you think about even in our families and the things that we've seen in our families, where you've seen the women that been down forever, and then eventually you get older, you listen to the stories, and it's like granddaddy was a Rolling Stone, literally, and grandmama's still here.
Yeah, like but granddaddy got 10 kids with 8 baby mamas.
Right, got 80 cousins.
Exactly. Yeah, look, exactly. You're like, hold up, wait, how does work? What happened here? You know what I'm saying? Like, right. And then you look and you're like, okay, well, maybe I'm supposed to stay. Maybe I'm supposed to, do whatever. But yeah.
We have to pay attention to all of that. I think another thing you have to pay attention to is something I heard someone say is play. And what they mean in regards to that is, getting out to do things, being adventurous, being spontaneous. Now, you don't necessarily have to be spontaneous, but being with a partner that does not like to just sit in the house and Netflix and chill all the time. Especially, say, if you're that person that wants to do that, that's fine. But if you like to get out and do things, make sure you get a partner that likes to get out and do things too, and that I would say they can afford to do things. Because I've encountered in my terrible relationships men who, I like to travel, I like to move around, I like to kick it on the weekends, and they like, I ain't got it. Ain't never got it. Never had it. Never gonna get it. I don't know why I was there. But they ain't never got it. So they out here like smoking mama trying to make it enough. So I think you have to be mindful of that so that you can, enjoy life and whatever your hobbies are, whatever you like to do. Make sure that you have somebody who wants to sign up to for life to do that with you.
Right.
But overall, I think, what do y'all think about this with regular check-ins? That's something I've heard. And I dated somebody once upon a time, and I told him, I said, so when it comes to checking in on a relationship, I feel like you can never do it too much. I feel like whether you want to do it every day, every week, every month, however you want to set up your schedule, because I'm a planner. I like to plan stuff out.
Literally write
everything down. Literally. I'll write stuff that I already did for the day.
Yes, I do.
Like I've accomplished stuff.
Check it off. Just to check it off.
Just to put the check mark.
Yeah.
But I literally have encountered people like, why we gotta check in? When something fuck up, we'll talk about it. Oh, so you want to be proactive. No, you want to be reactive
instead of proactive.
So what is the importance you all feel of having relationship check-ins?
We do it faithfully.
How often do you guys do it?
Well, we make a point to do it once a month, but have you ever seen those memes where it's like, I asked my husband, like, did you really want to marry me? And y'all been married already for like 10 years. Like, duh, sis, he wanted to marry you.
You right.
I'm that girl, I'll like roll over in the middle of the night like, am I a good wife?
You irritate.
So irritating.
I just randomly
snatched you like,
girl. He be like, where did that even come from? I'm like, just tell me yes or no. Yes or no, I can deal with it.
Right, let me know.
He gonna fuck you up one time like, no.
Nope, you're terrible.
I'm like, oh my God, world is over.
I hate the way you cook. Your cleaning is trash. I don't like it.
Your dental hygiene is not up to par.
I really do that so
I would do that just to make you mad.
But we make a point to like check in, like seriously, intentionally check in with you. Like, am I doing like him going back to school? I'm making sure that I don't like make him put too much pressure on him, because that's one of those things I know that women can do, because you already have those expectations, like he's my husband, he has to provide, but I think we miss those things when life changes sometimes. So does your expectations, so your standards have to change with that, because he's not able to change my tire or put gas in my tank every Saturday like he used to, because he may have to go to like study group or something as petty as that.
Something for him.
But I have to adjust now because his life is changing, and since I made that commitment to be with him for the rest of his life, then he now has the expectation of me to move and groove with him, and vice versa if I were going through different things. So we just do those simple check-ins, and my pastor during our marital counseling, that part of our marital counseling, he sat down with us. He was like, one of the things that I know for a fact work for successful marriages is to do those check-ins. And he was like, a lot of people think it's kind of corny to be like, am I a good wife? Am I meeting your needs? What are your needs this month? What are your expectations this month? But the truth is, things happen. People change. Life
That's
happens. So his expectations may be different this year than they were from last year. So it's your responsibility as his wife, and it's his responsibility as my husband, to now check in to make sure my expectations have not changed, to make sure that he is in that lane, because I mean, at the end of the day, you made that commitment to be that person for the rest of your life. And although I think a lot of people too think that puts way too much responsibility on people, but I just kind of feel like if you love that person, then
it shouldn't be a problem. And I was going to ask you that, like, how does that work for you guys? Do you feel like it's effective? Was it a scary thing for you to approach? Because I'm sure some listeners may think like, I don't want to ask that. I want to rock the boat. I'm scared.
I'm scared to hear the answer.
Right. I'm scared to hear the answer.
Well, at that point, for me, it was scary to think about, but that's because I was that type of person. He has always been like a communicating type person, because we had a long distance relationship. So one of his things where we had to communicate, I've never heard that before at that point, and that's goes to one of those self-awareness things, because I wasn't a good communicator at all. I've always grown up expecting people, because I was spoiled, so I expected people to get me just like my parents always got me, and I always understood what I needed when I needed without me opening my mouth.
Don't have to do much.
I never was that communicator. So when you brought that up, being self-aware, I was one of those people who had to get with myself, like, okay, you don't communicate well. Like, this is a sign. Like, if this bothers you, if this gives you anxiety to tell somebody that you claim you want to be in your life forever, to tell them what you need in your life, that's a problem. Like, it's not necessarily anything wrong with you, but you need to figure out why you don't like communicating to people what you need. So I just simply got over it. It's always been something easy for him to do that.
I was about to say, how did you move through it?
I mean, just did it. I just did it. Just sucked it up. Okay, I identified with myself. Like, you don't communicate.
You acknowledged it.
I acknowledged it, and I had to move on. And I did go through therapy, counseling sessions. I was about to say, with my pastor, with counselors, just to be like, to make sure I'm doing it well. Because communication is, you have to do it well for it to be even
effective.
Exactly.
Right.
And that's what I was gonna say. Is just like honest. I think a lot of times with the check-ins, it's important to realize that we're dynamic beings. We're constantly changing. Like we even said about the sexuality. Our sexuality is constantly changing. The things that we find sexually attractive, the things that we find attractive in a person, just in general, things that we connect with when it comes to our careers or when it comes to the activities that we like to do. Things like we're constantly changing because we're experiencing different things constantly. You want to be changing. That means that you're evolving as a being. Exactly. So, having that constant, check-in and saying like, okay, what's going on here? What do you need here? And I think that's where people mess up when it comes to marriage and stuff like that. Even talking about more serious commitments, because they feel like, okay, this should work and it should be just like this, and this person should just be for me, and this is going to always work, and it's going to always be whatever, how we're doing it now is always going to work. And then when life hits you and people's mamas die and, people get sick and y'all hit the recession and all of these different big things happen, you don't know how to really weather those. Exactly, you don't know how to really weather those storms because you haven't, created those systems of like, okay, let's check in and see how you feeling, like what's going on. You know what I'm saying? And you can do that even in relationships, right? Like, and actively listen. Exactly. And you can do it like even in those relationships that are more, that are just regular, like for us that are more single and are just dating people and stuff, and just having those check-ins, like, what's going on? Is there something that I should be doing?
Because I was going to ask you that if you're not married and you're dating, like, should we still be checking in with those people?
Right. Especially if you reach that point where you're like, okay, we're going to exclusively date. This is me and you.
Right. Exactly.
I think so.
Yeah. And just because you're always changing, so maybe what y'all wanted in the beginning has changed and it's totally different now. But then at one point I want to say about, like, you know, even having that self-awareness and identifying things to make those changes, because I am a bad communicator too. That's what I had to learn. I had to accept that. And then I realized after, like, relationships and things like that, I'm like, okay, I need to learn how to communicate better, because sometimes it's hard for me to put things together. So I'll be like, okay, just give me some space right now. Let me take some time to figure out what I want to say, how to say it properly, because it'll come out off. Because I talk, because my you know, my not even just that, but also my personality is very strong. I'm very tough love type of person, so my shit's gonna come off like, nigga, you tripping. Like, it's not gonna be good, it's not gonna be effective, and you can't talk like that to everybody. So like, I be trying to like, okay, but it's hard. I know, that's the same way, you know, especially those of us that came from maybe, you know, mothers or fathers that were really tough love, hard on us, and that made us very independent women. And so it's very hard to kind of tone that down and not, you know, feel like you're demasculating your partner or whoever, whatever. You know, but it also comes to, like, you have to kind of find the root of it too. To be like, where in my childhood did I feel like people didn't listen to me to the point where I don't feel like I can express myself now? Because I had to listen to, I had to uncover, like, okay, little Jane, you know what I'm saying, she said different things and everybody just misunderstood her. So I just stopped, you know, expressing myself. I stopped saying the things that I need to say, clogging my throat chakra, because I'm sitting here and I'm like, y'all just gonna say I'm mean, y'all just gonna say I'm this and that, all these other things, I'm emotional, I'm just whatever, blah 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 blah. And you know, it took me a moment to be like, okay, wait, no, this is how I express myself. If you don't like it, you can tell me, be like, you know what, and be open to the feedback and the criticism, and be like, okay, I get what you're saying. I understand where you're coming from, but I understand there's another way you could talk to me. There's another way that you can say, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, it's a constant thing. Changing and evolving is a constant thing. Healing is a constant thing. It never stops. Like, it never stops, you know? So I think that's important. But especially if people find, like, certain things that they're not good at when it comes to communication or something, you have to really dig deep and be like, okay.
And I think that's the moment where I was like, well, maybe I should talk to somebody.
Let me talk to somebody.
Let me get it together for real, because because I even went to a point where asking my friends, like, so do I come off to you this way? Because maybe this isn't just him or other people just give me criticism. Like, maybe this is really how I'm coming off to people. And if I don't like how I'm coming off to people, I need to figure out what within me is giving that out. Exactly. And adjust. But that is, I think people are scared of that because something's wrong with me. But that doesn't mean something's wrong with me.
It's just something. I do that with my friends all the time. I do that. And even it's good to do check-ins with platonic relationships. To be like, you know, me and my friends, I like one of my closest friends.
My friends, they shaming me. Stuff I know I need to work on. I'm like, I know.
I know.
Don't yell.
Right. I know. One of my closest friends, who's my line sister, she also, you know, we had a conversation one day. It was really recently, and I always ask her, I'm like, I was like, do I do that? Like, we bring up things that we're complaining about other people or things like that we didn't like, that made people seem like a bad friend to us or whatever. And I'm like, do I do that? Like, I want to know. And, you know, and she knows that I'm receptive to that. And even if she does things, and I'm like, you're being a little negative today. I'm just saying. It's just a little, you know, you're having a moment, but just it's like spilling over into negativity. Like, and, you know, we kind of bring it back in. To have those healthy relationships are important too. So important. Because it helps you in your romantic relationships, because you're able to kind of be like
a check, a meter, a barometer.
Right.
Like, am I fucking up with just him, or is it everybody? Or is it just me?
Is it just me?
It's
me.
Is
it really him? Am I really that?
Or if I know it's an opportunity, even in a relationship, like my friends stay shaming me into, you know, things that are me being controlling and me not opening up and me this, and I'm like, yep, you right. 100%. I know. You ain't got to keep telling me. Like, no, I'm not getting help. No.
Like I'm fine with that
now. I'm not getting help.
I'm not ready. So until
I ain't there yet. I ain't there yet.
Gotta hit rock bottom.
So he's gonna take me as I am. Or he gonna move
as I am.
No words. So look, when it comes to needs though, you know, do you all feel like there are some things that are out there that are 100% up to you to fulfill on your own? Like you need to put your blinders on, because this has nothing to do with your partner. You got to work on that. You got to fulfill that need 100% yourself.
I think those are the needs that I'm trying to figure out how to word this without pissing somebody off.
Go right ahead.
But I told Paul to me like, don't ever invite her back.
Like that.
I'm trying to think of an example. You know,
or something. Say it however you want to say.
I think needs. It depends, because I feel like. It just goes back to kind of like self-awareness and getting to know yourself, because it's like even when people get down to like, oh, I need my man to financially fulfill, and it's kind of like, sis, you can't do that yourself. And it's like, it's not even necessarily like needs that you have to do yourself all the time. Your partner,
that's a great point. I heard on the podcast today a guy, he said, he pointed out physical, but what he said was, he was like food, shelter, clothes. He named all the basics. He was like, I'm not saying somebody can't do them for you, but he was like, ultimately, you have to fulfill those yourself.
That's all exactly.
He was like,
that little pyramid in psychology, the basic,
like the basic needs, with the Pavlov,
something like that. Essentially, if you are depending on that person to fulfill that for you, if
something
God
happens,
forbid, y'all break up or something happens and y'all no longer together, then you lost. You don't even know who you are.
But what if something happens right now? You have to be the breadwinner, or you have to take care of your family.
Exactly.
You want to be in a position where you can still do it.
You can't even grasp how to figure it out, because you've been so used to somebody else doing it for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
I just feel like every need that you made, or every need I could think of, at some point on the base level of it, you should be able to fulfill that for yourself.
Exactly. Especially when it comes to like finances or certain like, things like that. It's like, okay, I should be able to do that, but I still have a standard where I want somebody to meet me at least where I am or above.
Right. Yeah.
I just, or have a drive to meet me where I am. Maybe you're not there, but you have the drive, the ambition, the plan, vision, the strategy, all of these different things. You're making
actionable items.
And actionable steps to get there, because you want to meet me where I am, and you want to continue to elevate, you know what I'm saying, and build something. But it's when those, people get real complacent and it's whatever, and it's like, I can't.
Yeah.
I can't do it. But but to expect somebody to do all of that, or what, to do, it's a lot.
And a lot, and you have bitches might not like it, but I ain't gonna say me, just women. You have people out here who do feel like my man or my woman, whatever, they should be doing all these things, and I should not have to. Now, mind you, I want to get to that point where somebody's doing that.
Like, hello.
I would love it.
Hello, somebody.
100%.
100%.
I'm trying to be a stay-at-home mom. Yeah, got kids. Yeah,
right.
We got to wait. This moment ain't
right.
I get it, but I think what we said, that those basic necessities of life, you should be able to fulfill those on your own. But it's awesome if you can have a partner come in to help you with those.
Exactly.
So tell me this: when it comes to couples, and if you aren't communicating, things happen where sometimes you might encounter tough times, troublesome times. Why because divorce is at like a 50% rate.
That's so scary though. It's like,
why do we think? Why are people more apt to just leave? Now, mind you, I'm asking questions kind of like might be a little rhetorical, because we know that back then, like we talked about, people got married for different reasons, and people couldn't just leave their husband. Women couldn't just leave because they might have lost rights. They didn't have as much money. Exactly. They weren't as successful as we are now.
They had 12 kids.
Yeah, so now we can leave with 12 kids and I'll still be okay. I can do this, But why do you think people are so apt to just want to leave and not try to work it out these days?
I think before.
Or is it this? Are people, and I kind of believe this, I think a lot of people out here that are in relationships that were not a good fit from the start.
Yes.
Right.
And I think that you did not do the work that you needed, the self-work, the relationship work, the pre-work. You didn't have those standards, timelines, all this stuff set up. Yeah. And I think we've got a lot of people in that's bad fits.
Yeah. I think also it's like, one thing that I see a lot and I hear that drives me absolutely nuts is when people are like, oh my God, I'm about to be 30. Oh my God, I'm about to be this age. I need to do this. I need to do that. So, or like, I've been with him for so long though. Like, what am I going to do? Or I've been with them so long. And it's just like, just because you've been with them.
You probably need to leave.
First of all, time is an illusion. Okay, let's just go there. Time, age, all those things are illusions. Yes. It's things that we made as humans to conceptualize our existence.
Yes.
That's what it is. It's a concept. At the end of the day, you can't control that shit. You can't control if you find your soulmate at 25 or at 45. You can't control that. You know what I'm saying? So to put a timeline and be like, I'm about to be 30, then you go rush and be with this person who kind of halfway has some of the qualities that you want and you expect.
They got 2 out of 10.
Right, then after time, when the glitter and the gold fade, you're like, oh God, I can't even stand you being in this room.
Yeah. You kind of
and it's like, right, exactly. It's like, oh, okay, you know what? I don't deserve this no more. Let me get up.
Let me get up out
here. You know what I'm saying? That's what I see a lot of times.
Right, and I was gonna say a lot of options back then weren't as
prevalent. You didn't have a whole millions of people access to them.
Right. Yes. You didn't realize it's a little fine honey up there doing her thing. My wife ain't really doing much anyway, and we not a good match. So let me go on break bread over here to figure out what's going on up there.
Right.
It's more accessibility.
Yeah, it was no options back then, so it was kind of like we might as well stay married.
Or they go mess with somebody around the corner.
Where you gonna go?
You know, they go around the corner. But I think absolutely. I think we have to do a better job as people, men and women, taking the time to find better partners that fit what we need. Partners that can truly fulfill what it is that we're looking for. Partners that are willing to do the work. Partners that have done the work to show up as their whole entire self and know that it's a process. Like you said, it never ends. That you have to continuously do that and not get lazy about it. You know, because if you can't,
and you have to know where you're going. Because if you just settling for somebody that meets where you are now, how you know that's not their cap? Like, right? But you have plans.
Or if they going somewhere and you see that, you know, this is a CEO or something, he making big moves. I'm gonna jump on his wagon. Right? They didn't say he might come down or he might keep going. What you about? You done lost your vision because you just jumped on him.
So I think a lot of people get lost in that as well.
That was like that Dion. What's the McCarthy? I forgot his last name. Whatever. His stand up, and he was like this level, he was like this level or whatever. You was at this level. He said you should have you nice and I'll be right back and go try the other levels and come back. That one was really right for you. Come back. But that's what people do. They and Dave Chappelle said it too.
He said don't marry that bitch. Save her for later.
Yeah, right.
Go do all that shit you want to do.
All the stuff you want to do.
Come back to her.
Right. Because then you're gonna be in the midst of that partnership. You're gonna be like, damn, ooh, that look fun over there. Look at him over there. But if you get that shit out your system, you like, I don't even want that. I've been there, done that. I ain't got time to be waking up burning and stuff. Come over here. Let me just, I got this up here, or I really respect what she brings to me, because maybe at a point in time I wouldn't have respected somebody that can bring these things to me. Whatever. It's funny, but I think I love that. I love when you said that. Like, you should. I'll be right back.
Yeah,
I'll be right back.
To me, that's what dating is. Like, my friends were like, why? Because we were at brunch one day and it was 3 women. And they had just left brunch, but one of them, it was her birthday or something was going on, but she had like a crown, and you could tell they were just really enjoying each other's company. I was like, look at them, they single, they look like they mid-40s, they just living life out here. And my friend was like, but you married? I'm like, look, ain't nothing wrong with being single.
Right, look.
I mean, living life.
Celebrate both of them.
Celebrate your singleness. Like, that's what dating.
That's what it is. Like, it really is supposed to be.
And people don't celebrate it enough.
One person,
that's real.
People don't get it. We have a whole episode coming up. They don't celebrate it enough. They don't. It's not a. Everybody was single once upon a time.
Hello.
Everybody.
Before they got kicked to the world.
I enjoy my single life. Like, I'm married now, but I did enjoy being single. Like,
and honestly, that's what I feel like a hoe phase is. I feel like a hoe phase is your time. And then it gets a bad rap because hoes still somehow, even though we call each other hoes sometimes, we still, it somehow gets a bad rap. Like, oh, you a hoe. And it's like, am I really? Okay. It's like, we got the same bodies, but it's okay. Okay. But I feel like a hoe phase is like that period where you can kind of dabble and figure out what you like, what you don't like. You can kind of see the type of people, and it doesn't even have to have anything to do with sex.
Right.
It's a matter of just like experiencing and seeing what's out there and be like, okay, I kind of like a dude that's like this, but no, I don't really like him like that. Okay, I kind of like a dude.
Or I like all y'all. All y'all friends.
And I'm going to dinner with all y'all at least one point this week.
I like all y'all. I don't know if that's wrong. If it's 5 friends and y'all find, like, I actually like all y'all. So,
exactly.
I think we should all hang out.
Megan Stallion said that. What she say? Ain't no nigga taming me. I love my niggas equally. I retweeted that. I said, that's it. That's where I'm at right now. I love all y'all equally.
And y'all love me too.
It should be.
That's how you're supposed to live your single life.
It is.
That's
what
I'm going to say. You're not. You single unless you married.
Yeah.
So you out here single.
Hello. I just said this earlier
today. You are attracted to somebody and they actually
I'm single until I'm married.
Okay.
Go on that date and see how that is.
Exactly.
That's what
see how it is.
Like you'll never know.
You never know.
And that's how a lot of people end up settling because they don't even widen their perspective.
Not at all. Not at all. But we talk about that too. They go on one date and they in love.
Houses.
Who are these people?
House.
The people right around here walking around in Nashville. I know too many of them.
I'm not that.
I used to know her. I used to be her.
Be mad 2 months later because you found out he's still with his baby mama.
Yeah. So be mad a week later when he not calling you back.
What's his first name and last name?
No, you know his middle name.
His
middle name.
Username.
Middle name. Right. Middle name.
His full name.
What's the middle name?
What is it?
Right.
You don't know it? Then y'all
Where's mama live at?
I be having to tell people my name is not Shanna. Like it's really not. So like
Shanna.
I know it's Shanna. It's really not my name.
Right. I was gonna say it's the Hannah Montana.
They get it. I'm like, that's fine. Some people really don't know me. I'm like, my real name is Shayna. Like so, but that show you people don't know you and they be out here.
Right. They just be out here.
Right. So what do you feel like?
Their favorite picture.
What's up?
Exactly.
Their favorite picture. Yes. So what do you do if you feel like, out of all the things we've talked about in these relationships and, trying to get your needs fulfilled, how do you address it when your needs are not being met? Or say like when y'all have y'all check-ins, if y'all kind of not on the same wavelength.
I never, but it was something stupid and childish. Like, I've gotten to the point where like I think I'm too good at communication at this point. So it's kind of like, maybe you should shut up sometimes.
Right. Dial it back.
That wasn't nothing for you to say. But I just think it depends, because with your partner or especially your husband, at the point that y'all are married, you should be completely comfortable saying whatever. Like, if you don't like the way this nigga clip his toes, you should be able to be like, babe, don't be doing that on this couch.
Right.
You not feeling I'm not feeling that right now. Right. You need to do that in the bathroom. Like, it should just, at that point, it should be a joyous conversation. So, like.
Okay. And an easy conversation.
Yeah, it should be very easy. It shouldn't be anything that's, like, really tense unless this nigga, like, cheated or some shit.
Yeah, that's something else.
Like,
hold on. But
that's a whole nother conversation.
We're going to finish this when we come right back. All right, so we are back. And so what I was asking was, when it comes to certain needs not being met, like how do you address it? And so I had this example of, I'm not in a relationship, but I was really curious to know that, say if you're with somebody and it's something about them that you don't like. It could be their weight. It could be their teeth. It could be their hair. It could be that they don't clean their shoes after they wear them. It could be a number of things. Yeah, that's petty.
That is a good one.
Yes.
That is petty.
So I'm like, how do you address that with a partner? Like, how would you address that? You just
I've never, and like she said previously, I was like, "Ooh, that's me. She must know me." Like, she was like, "Oh, if parents are more straightforward with the child, like the child doesn't know, like sometimes you have to be a little bit more sensitive or work around the conversation." And I'm that child. Yeah. Like, I'm just like, look, we gotta fix this. And I might offer a suggestion, like I'm gonna bring you a solution.
Right.
We can go with that, or you can tell me you don't like that solution, and I'm the person that will sit with you and be like, okay, so here are some more solutions.
Yeah, let's try to figure this out.
Let's figure out which one you like.
Figure this thing out.
So we can fix it.
Yeah. I get it because I'm a very direct person and I'm all about solutions and some people call it confrontational, call it whatever you want. I'm all about just getting right to the point of whatever it is we have to work on.
No fluffing.
Yeah, rip the Band-Aid off.
Here's some solutions I found. Are you with it or not?
So what do you do when your partner isn't receptive to change?
Ooh.
What does that look like? What do you think we have to do?
What does that look like?
Or in general, what do you think, like, if you've got a partner that's not receiving the whatever it is you're trying to work on?
How deep is the problem?
I mean, how deep is the right?
I don't know. We gonna say on 1 to 10. I don't know. Y'all.
So
pick.
like it depends. Like if it's like, and I feel like it's how deep is our connection and our like our relationship or whatever. Are we talking about a more committed level? Then we really need to reevaluate some things. But we need to go to therapy because clearly we're not making any progress. Just talking. We need somebody, an outside party to help. But it was another situation. It's like, okay, I'm telling you what I need. This is when I start talking like, I'm telling you what I need. And we're not making any progress. Yeah. So maybe we need to reevaluate what we're doing. Right. Because this is not working for me. And we're no longer being fluid. And we're no longer being open. And I don't operate in that.
Right.
That
space. If they're not receptive to the change, then I don't know what I'm saying. That means somebody else accepting. I'm just Hello.
Man, you gotta do
that's true.
That's real.
I don't know. Like, I don't know what that looks like.
That's real.
That probably make you mad. Because I worked myself up.
Yeah.
Convinced myself to bring it to you because I just knew you was going to be with it.
And if they never
you didn't say,
a lot of times, my experience, when they aren't receptive, it's probably over anyway.
Yeah, like at that point, it's like, all right.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yep, that's what I've encountered when they aren't receptive to it. It's pretty much over with.
Exactly. That means, right, if you're not willing to continue to change and evolve and grow with me.
Especially if it's a positive change. Like, I'm not coming to you talking about, I don't like you wearing white tennis shoes. I prefer that you buy black. I'm coming to you, like, with a real issue that I feel like, could not only benefit me, because that's what I like, but it could benefit you as well.
Right.
And you're not open to it, then, I don't know.
Yeah,
whack.
You gotta let it go.
That's whack.
I think you gotta let it go. So now this is gonna bring us to the resolution segment of the podcast. And on this segment, we're gonna do just a round table where we talk about what we think we have to do in order to make sure that we are being fulfilled by our partner, but that we are also showing up to fulfill our partner as well. So I'm gonna start with you, Jane. What do you think that looks like for us to be able to really get that fulfillment?
I think a part of that fulfillment is to know yourself and to love yourself. And you don't have to be totally in a space where you feel like 100% secure with yourself and know yourself, but you have to have a certain point where you are clearly, you know, on your own path and, you know, in alignment with your own purpose. You're focused on that. You know, not even that you're like so focused on that you're not worried about outside people, but you're in this space where you're like, okay, this is what I know is on my life to be doing. You know, I don't have many, you know, concerns about certain things. I really think that I'm at a good place in my own mental health and my own healing journey, and where I can give to somebody else.
Right.
You know, because like I said before, you know, relationships are about fulfilling each other's needs. It's a communion, a union of two people, you know, bringing two histories, two different, you know, needs and levels and things that you expect. So if I'm ready to really like receive that and to also give in return, then I feel like I'm in a space to really be able to fulfill another partner. So I think it is about knowing and loving yourself, but I think it's also about realizing, okay, I have a certain level of self-awareness, and I can say, maybe I'm not the greatest at communicating. Maybe I'm not the greatest at, you know, being fluid with change. Maybe I do resist some things, and like making sure I know my partner understands that and understands like it's not a reflection of you, it's a reflection of my own internal environment. We all still got stuff we got to work on. We have like lifetimes and generations of healing that we all have to do. So it takes a while. You know, it takes a while. You're not really going to be at this perfect place to get this perfect person. But at the same time, it's just like, okay, I just want you to know, like, I'm aware enough to know that this is on me to do, and I just need some support, and I need you to be willing to kind of change with me, but also willing to kind of call me out lovingly on the places where I fall short and where I'm not able to be active and a, you know, fully participant in this relationship or whatever, you know what I mean? And
somebody has to show up fully to do those things.
Exactly.
And if the person you're with is like, I can't do all that, I'm not with it, it's probably not the person for you.
And I think it's also about realizing that we're all dynamic, and so there's a point in time where you may be that person, but then there may be role shifts. Like, you know, like you even saying, you know, your husband's going back to school and stuff, and so there's a certain shift that you have to do in your relationship, and then maybe one day he's done with schooling and he's in his career, he's in his stride, and you decide, okay, I want to switch it up, I want to do something different. Now he got to switch, and y'all got to, you know, allowing that natural flow to happen, not getting stuck in a label, in a box, and thinking like, oh no, we can't, you know, move outside of this because this is how we're supposed to be, and be like, no, let's continue to change and flow together, and this will continue to be a healthy situation, whether we're married, whether we're in a, you know, relationship that's not as committed, whether we're whatever we're doing, like just having a certain level of fluidity and like, you know, understanding when it comes to that.
Understanding.
You said it.
And I've been over here doing a lot of self-reflecting this episode.
Like that's just
that's real.
I was gonna say that just self-awareness and community. You gotta keep that open communication and be graceful. Graceful. Is that what I'm trying to say?
Grateful.
I think so.
Allow grace.
That's
the word. Allow grace.
Give people the benefit of the doubt.
Allow grace. Not English teacher. Allow grace for yourself and for the other person, and be that person to be like, okay, when things are changing with them, so let me, you know, get with myself to figure out, am I that person to meet those expectations and those standards? Because if I'm not, now I need to be open with them and say, you know, I'm not there yet for whatever reason. If you feel like you even owe them a reason to begin with,
right?
And explain that, and then y'all both need to be okay with like, this is where we are in our place, in our, you know, in life. And now we're okay with separating because we understand that this isn't healthy. It's not a healthy position to be in, to be with somebody and just be connected with somebody, and we're not even you know, fulfilling each other's needs.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
And that's that on that.
Yeah,
right.
That's that on that. So get yourselves a round of applause. We want to thank our guests today for coming on the podcast. You can tell them a bit more about where to find you on Instagram as far as your business.
Instagram. So I am Jane Grant. My Instagram is dr.grant_. I am a doctor of physical therapy, a licensed physical therapist. I also own an online herbal shop called the Blooming Herbalist Apothecary, where I do herbal based products, tinctures, teas. You can find us on Instagram at the Blooming Herbalist apothecary, and I also do energy healing services. So I'm a Reiki master, which I use life force energy to heal people's emotional, energetic imbalances. And I also am an Akashic record reader and oracle card reader. I'm a teacher. I do my description. So I do those different services. So when I talk about healing and things like that, I work with people on trying to heal some of their childhood traumas, trying to move past a lot of things energetically and spiritually that hold them back in their physical life, in their physical body, in their mental bodies, in a number of ways that kind of hinder them and block them from their own healer within themselves and their own intuition. And I kind of bring you back to yourself. So you can find me there. And I'm in Nashville, so hit me up.
Please do. I will one day when I'm ready. So tell us. Girl, she's like, I don't even want to.
I'm just Tori Augusta.
No.
Facebook, no.
How about your Instagram?
My Instagram is the awkward professional by trade, education, academic, route, whatever. I'm a healthcare professional, but I do dabble in professional development, things of that nature, communication development on the corporate end. So yeah, you can find me at the awkward professional. Shayna will tag it because it's a lot to spell.
Yes, I will tag them both, so you can find them both on my Instagram. And we will be right back with the Montana Minute. And now this brings us to the Montana Minute. The first thing, be sure you know that your partner cannot be your everything. They can fulfill a lot of needs, but you have to know what you are responsible for and what falls in the category of what they are responsible for. And I promise you, it's not everything. And if you think it's everything, that means you have some self-work that you need to do. The next thing, try to do a good job when selecting your partner because you need to be with someone who even has the capacity to be able to meet your needs and theirs so that no one loses themselves just because they are partnered. And the last thing, stop rushing into love. I know that we all love, but we have to stop rushing into it. Get to know the person you're with, and that will eliminate many of the issues you face if you don't, because that is truly half the battle. So now I leave you to decide, per the usual, to be single or not to be. Signing off, yours truly, Shanna Montana. And now this brings us to the living single question of the day. I've been dating a great guy for 2 years. We each have 2 kids from a previous marriage, and I'm still legally married, separated almost 3 years, and in the process of divorcing. The only reason this thing has been drug out is because my ex is doing this for no reason other than to spite me. So I brought up the issue of moving in together with my boyfriend, but he told me he's not ready. Clearly, since my divorce isn't final, we aren't getting engaged or married anytime soon, but I think that this will be the next logical step in moving forward in our relationship. We see each other every weekend, sometimes during the week. Our kids get along great, and I really want to blend this already blended family under one roof. I love him. He says he loves me, and the fact that I'm still legally married doesn't bother him. So he says. I just added that in. So he says. I'm wondering because after 2 years, he still isn't ready. Will he ever be ready? What if my divorce isn't final for years? Must I wait until then for living together? Honestly, I just want to go to bed with him and wake up every morning next to him. Should I set a time limit for myself to move forward, or should I just set a time limit for myself to quit? We get along in every other way, and this is the one worry in the back of my mind. What should I do? So, a few things stood out there, you said, sis. You said that I love him. He says he loves me. That kind of stood out to me. Like, does he really love you? But I'm not going to harp on that. What I am going to harp on is that we need to make sure that we are taking care of things one thing at a time. Worry about and focus on getting your divorce finalized, because you really cannot move forward in so many ways until that divorce is final. So I understand your ex is giving you a hard time, but focus all of your energy, all your strength, everything that you need in order to finalize that divorce for you and your children. Once that is done, you can then focus on other things. The next thing, if your relationship is great in every other way and your boyfriend says he's not bothered about you still being legally married, trust that. Trust what he says until he gives you a reason not to. So once your divorce is final, you can then sit down to have a solid conversation about those next steps in your relationship, because even though he's not saying it, I'm pretty sure that you being legally married has something to do with why he doesn't want to move in. Because if he does move in and say he does want to marry you, he's at a roadblock if your divorce is not final. So I think that you need to take those steps, look at those, say, I'm going to finalize this divorce. Then I'm going to have a solid conversation with my man. We'll determine what we need to do next. If that is moving in together, great. If it's not, we need to talk about that. But if things are as great as you say they are, I don't see why you would want to put a timeline on leaving the relationship unless there's something that you aren't saying in the letter. So that said, slow it down. Take your time. And if you have a good one, hang on to them. But get rid of your ex first. So you guys know that you can send in your relationship questions for the Living Single segment on Facebook at Shannon Montana, or you can DM me on Instagram. And we'll be right back with the second part of Partner Fulfillment. And now this brings us to the Living Single question of the day. I've been dating a great guy for 2 years. We each have 2 kids from a previous marriage, and I'm still legally married, separated almost 3 years, and in the process of divorcing. The only reason this thing has been drug out is because my ex is doing this for no reason other than to spite me. So I brought up the issue of moving in together with my boyfriend, but he told me he's not ready. Clearly, since my divorce isn't final, we aren't getting engaged or married anytime soon, but I think that this will be the next logical step in moving forward in our relationship. We see each other every weekend, sometimes during the week. Our kids get along great, and I really want to blend this already blended family under one roof. I love him, he says he loves me, and the fact that I'm still legally married doesn't bother him, so he says. I just added that in, so he says. I'm wondering because after 2 years he still isn't ready, will he ever be ready? What if my divorce isn't final for years? Must I wait until then for living together? Honestly, I just want to go to bed with him and wake up every morning next to him. Should I set a time limit for myself to move forward, or should I just set a time limit for myself to quit? We get along in every other way, and this is the one worry in the back of my mind. What should I do? So, few things stood out there, you said, sis. You said that I love him. He says he loves me. That kind of stood out to me. Like, does he really love you? But I'm not going to harp on that. What I am going to harp on is that we need to make sure that we are taking care of things one thing at a time. Worry about and focus on getting your divorce finalized, because you really cannot move forward in so many ways until that divorce is final. So I understand your ex is giving you a hard time, but focus all of your energy, all your strength, everything that you need in order to finalize that divorce for you and your children. Once that is done, you can then focus on other things. The next thing, if your relationship is great in every other way and your boyfriend says he's not bothered about you still being legally married, trust that. Trust what he says until he gives you a reason not to. So once your divorce is final, you can then sit down to have a solid conversation about those next steps in your relationship, because even though he's not saying it, I'm pretty sure that you being legally married has something to do with why he doesn't want to move in. Because if he does move in and say he does want to marry you, he's at a roadblock if your divorce is not final. So I think that you need to take those steps, look at those, say, I'm going to finalize this divorce, then I'm going to have a solid conversation with my man. We'll determine what we need to do next. If that is moving in together, great. If it's not, we need to talk about that. But if things are as great as you say they are, I don't see why you would want to put a timeline on leaving the relationship unless there's something that you aren't saying in the letter. So that said, slow it down. Take your time. And if you have a good one, hang on to them. But get rid of your ex first. So you guys know that you can send in your relationship questions for the Living Single segment on Facebook at Shannon Montana, or you can DM me on Instagram. And we'll be right back with the second part of Partner Fulfillment.